Good morning, viewers and listeners of Concerned Citizens Media. Welcome back and nice to have you here. So I am here to share some news with you. So I will start with a video. I got it from Facebook, which describes or which shows OLF having orientation with people it freed from Prosperity Party. So these days, so many videos and photos of OLF operations are circulating. So despite all this evidence, the Ethiopian government, especially the uh, Oromia Prosperity Party officials like Taye Denda, and others keep denying and misinforming Ethiopians and the global community. OLF has no control of any road or any village or any towns. So they know, they just lying to, keep lying as usual. Most, they don't feel ashamed. They lie. They keep lying to they don't tell Ethiopians. They don't tell the global community about the facts, the truth on the ground. So that's why uh, people are sharing videos and the photos of the operation, the OLA advances in western, southern, and central Oromia regions, Oromia provinces. So I will start with this video. You will see OLF army explaining, some history about OLF struggle and advising residents, what must be done to liberate the whole Oromia region from this tyrant or this dictator. So I warn you, you might hear babies crying on this video, so watch out. Babies are joining the orientation with the cry. Let's listen to this, then I will have more videos at the end after I read some news. Okay, let's start. Look, the population, the number of population, the number of people attending this orientation. And those Oromia Prosperity Party, they don't see this. They tell you nothing happening. This is false. He's telling them the historical events. They are denying this credible evidence. These are the people liberated by Oromo Liberation Army.
diina waliin taaneetu qabsoo kana hongeessaa jira jennee of gaafachuun dirqama uummata Oromoo cufaati. Qeerroon, qarreen, abboon, ayyoon qabsoo kana keessatti qooda fudhataa jirtu immoo diina waliitu waraana keessatti nu kaafaa jirtu. Kun gaaffiidha. Bara 1991 addi bilisummaa Oromoo gaafa chaarteera seenu wareegama qaalii kaabaaf kibbaan baaf dhiyaan wareegama qaalii ilmaansa itti kaffalee Finfinnee gaafa seenu leencoo lataafatu qabsoo gurgurateetu biyyaa baane. Warri kaayyoo kana ciccanii hafan immoo namootatu bane malee kaayyoon sun hin banne gaafa sanatti. Warri kaayyoo kana ciccisan immoo kaayyoo kana hin sharamnu jedhaniitu bosonatti deebisan kaayyoo kana. Maaliif hidhare kaayyoo kanatti namatu itti wareegame, lubbuun itti bade, itti qurxummii nyaatame, itti awwaallisaa bade, itti
So he is, telling the historical, a little bit background of Oromo Liberation Army or Oromo Liberation Front movement before 1997, like the people sacrificed for the movement, like Gerba, Oromo Liberation. These are the the pioneers of this movement. And he is also talking about the 1991 when OLA was part of the transitional government, and Oromo, OLA, Lencho letter caused all the misery and the life lost in 1991 because of some, agreement like he did with TPLF at the time. They are friends now. But in 1991, there was some disagreement. OLF, created the constitution with TPLF, but for some reason they disagree. After that, the TPLF and the Eritrean government play some role, some agreement. So OLF was forced to, or with the help of Lenjo, Lenjo agreed to keep the Oromo fighters everywhere in the camp, like 15 kilometers away from the main road. So that caused TPLF to circle those camps and kill as many as it can at the time. It's a sad story. Lenjo sold. He said Lenjo sold the Oromo movement. The Oromo movement. Yes, he's responsible. Now Lenjo is part of Abiy Ahmed at this time. He's advising him how to destroy these fighters and how to subjugate Oromo's movement. They are happy to work with Abiy Ahmed, who is a dictator, who never satisfied with the killing and the destruction in that country. So Prosperity Party officials, as we know, they are liars. The same thing we are witnessing when you go down in Oromia region, those representing Prosperity Party, like Taye Danda, and the spokesperson like Getachew Balcha, all of them, these Opidios, the old Opidios, they are lying, even though so many credible evidence that OLF is gaining ground and removing Prosperity Party affiliated militia and the government forces from Oromia region, especially in Western Wolaga, Eastern Wolaga, Guji zone, Borana zone, and other areas. Okay, that's for deniers, for those lying, we have to bring more evidence. I know they still keep lying because they are accustomed to it. They don't care. Nobody asked them to apologize. They don't pay the price for lying. They keep lying. Okay, August 17, 2021. So as always, I appreciate your constructive comments. And please comment and share my video, subscribe to my video so we can share the news around the world. So I have updates on the video at the end, a couple of videos, but let's read this. Update on the war, which is ongoing on the northern part of Ethiopia. Heavy fighting for Debre Tabor, Debre Debark, Wereta and other major cities ongoing with Tigray Defense Forces and Amara Special Militia, other militia brought from all over other regions, plus the Ethiopian Defense Force on the other side. TDF fighting all these forces. Some TDF friendly media are reporting that TDF, in coordination with Oromo Liberation Front, capturing the Sokota city from Amara Special Forces and others. Viewers are advised to confirm this breaking news with other additional media sources. So TDF, working with Oromo Army, just recently formed and capturing some areas from Amara. And now Sokota, according to some media sources, is controlled by TDF and Oromo Liberation Army. All the towns and the cities captured by TDF from Amara regions are allowed to choose their own administrative mayors and governors, and they run their own businesses, which is good. Lalibela, Mersa, Hara, Kobo, Gobiye, Robit, and several other towns and cities remain under TDF control. The Tigray region and all areas captured from Amhara region have no internet, phone service, water, no banking, no electricity, and other basic services thanks to the Ethiopian government evil intention. The Voice of America has reported that more than 10,000 people ran away from these TDF-controlled areas from Amara region, stationed at Hike Lego Secondary School at Hike Town. They are living on voluntary food and other donation from Hike City residents. These displaced people also told VOA that they haven't received any assistance from regional and federal government almost for 2 weeks. Children and women are the most impacted by this internal displacement. So this is just from some areas, like the place I mentioned. These people are displaced from this area and stationed at high school. No food, no water, no clothing. They have nothing, And the federal government and the Amara regional government, they are not doing nothing. They're just watching them for 15 days, according to VOA report. So that's why we say this war should end sooner than later. 10,000 here, 200,000 over here. So it's horrible. It's a crisis, must end. But Abiy don't want to end it, and the Amara region want to fight it. So we'll see the end. Mr. Bekele Gerba has celebrated his birthday in Ethiopia's prison today. Mr. Bekele Gerba is one of the Oromo politicians that have been kept in prison for more than a year without due process. Bekele Gerba, Johar Mohammed, Hamza Borana, Abdi Ragasa, and too many other Oromos are facing injustice and other atrocities under Abiy Ahmed's leadership. Their suffering Their sufferings will continue until the Oromos wake up from their sleeps and collectively demand the removal of this brutal dictator regime in Ethiopia. So, yes, the OLA, they are doing good. People are joining them. People are welcoming them, the place they enter. But the majority people in the cities, they are silent. I know Abiy Ahmed is using shoot to kill policy. Maybe that's one is scaring them. But I mentioned one African country. I forgot. I think Mali or somewhere. In the same situation, the government arrested one guy, one politician. The people uprised and fought back and forced the government to release that politician within a day. So if you are keep silent, they will do all atrocities against your politicians. You need to act. You need to wake up. I know there are some danger to it, but if you don't act, they will arrest people, extend their hearing. They will have 100 witnesses. They will kill your people, like Abdul Jabbar Hussein, the lawyer, and Hachalu Ndesa. They will do all harmful stuff against your people. If your silence gives them the opportunity to do more harm. So Oromos, especially back home, the diaspora are doing good, even though they are silent sometimes. When they wake up, they do a good job. uh, Former Oromia Media Network director joined Oromo Liberation Army. Oromo Liberation Army. Mr. Girma Gutema was the head of Oromia Media Network of Addis Ababa branch until the Ethiopian government shut it down from the air. Mr. Girma Gutema joined the armed struggle to contribute whatever he can to fasten the Oromo Liberation Army's freedom movement. Mr. Girma's move expected to encourage other Oromo intellectuals to join armed struggle against the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's Prosperity Party. So this is the head of OMN. Before the Ethiopian government removed that media or shut down that media from Addis Ababa, he was the head of the operation in the capital city, Addis Ababa or Finfinne. But he ran away. I think, according to Yoya Media, he joined the armed forces from South Africa. He came back from South Africa. So this is encouraging for Oromos to join this armed struggle. That's the language Abiy Ahmed wants us to speak. He said already when they killed Hachalu. He said, you have to come back and die like Hachalu on the stage, he said. He is now getting it from OLA or from TDF and other groups. That's kind of language he wants to speak. So, Oromos intellectuals and others should join their forces against this government. to end the atrocities and to liberate Oromia from this dictator. He want to use the resources, the country's resources, for his power, not for the people's power, but for his power. So I appreciate Girma Gutema for joining the armed struggle. Others should also do whatever they can financially and doing all other contributions to fasten the freedom. That's the only way you can free Bekele, Gerba, Hamza, and other Oromos from atrocities and the tyranny in that country. Oromo Liberation Army threatened to block road linking Ethiopia to Kenya. The main rebel group in Ethiopia's Oromia region on Saturday warned that it could cut off a major highway that linked Ethiopia to Kenya in what could directly affect trade with Nairobi. The Oromo Liberation Army, OLA, a militia group allied with the proscribed Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, said they had mounted on an offensive that could block the main highway from Moyale, the only modern post between Kenya and Ethiopia. OLA news source claimed that its fighters are rapidly advancing on the western and the southern front of the Oromia region. In the southern front, where the Ethiopia-Kenya highway passes through, the rebel group claimed to have controlled the entire Guji zone and parts of the Borana zone bordering Kenya. As the OLA fighters pushed deeper to take full control of the Borana zone, the militia group claimed that it has now reached close to cut off the Ethiopia-Kenya road. OLA is using blockade of key roads, including those leading to the Amara region, as its military strategy. During the last 2 weeks, OLA reportedly took control and shut down 3 major supply corridors that link Oromia region with Amara region, where another rebel group, Tigray People's Liberation Front, is battling with the government and allied regional forces and the militia unit. OLA and the TPLF were designated last June as terrorist organization by the Ethiopian government. The 2 rebel groups on Wednesday announced inking a military alliance to overthrow a sitting government in Addis Ababa. A day later, Addis Ababa downplayed the announced alliance, saying it is not a surprise to the Ethiopian government. The 500-kilometer road, which is also part of the Trans-African Highway Project, was inaugurated on December 9, 2020 by Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta and Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. The road has allowed landlocked Ethiopia an additional access to ports. Ethiopia has for decades been highly dependent on neighboring Djibouti for its maritime trade. Ethiopia, Africa's second most populous country, with a population of about 115 million people, became landlocked after its former province, Eritrea, gained independence in 1993. The Horn of Africa nation has been using the port of Djibouti for about 95% of its import and exports. So this is a report by Kenya Daily Nation. So that is, even though the PP, Oromia PP, denied the operation of OLF or OLA, even the international media is reporting on it. Reporting. It's visible. It's, their operation is tough, advancing. Now try to block the Moyale, which is connecting Ethiopia with Kenya, plus the transportation also impacted in Wolaga. The residents are complaining. The operation is visible, even though they deny. They will deny until the last minute, until they come to their office and remove them. That is happening. They deny. And nobody asked them for lying. They don't pay any penalty for that. Okay. Sudan received third batch of U.S. wheat aid. August 14. Okay. Sudan received on Saturday the third batch of wheat aid from the United States. The official Sudan news agency said that the 48,000 tons shipping is part of 6 batches for this year. The wheat aid, which is part of the Abraham Accord, aims to help preserve Sudan's foreign reserves. The Abraham Accord, I think, is the Sudanese, recognizing Israel, as a sovereign state. So, yeah, they are taking advantage. Sudan need help, so they have to give recognition for Israel. That's what they did, the Abraham Accord. In June and July, Sudan had already received 2 shipments of 48,000 metric tons each. Last June, the government said it has sufficient strategic stocks of wheat until April 2022. The U.S. will supply Sudan with 300,000 tons of wheat this year, rising to 420,000 tons annually from 2022 to 2024, according to the Reuters. It's a blessing for Sudan, especially for this transitional government to get financial aid, food aid, and it's nothing bad. Ethiopia is suffering. Ethiopia is not getting anything because of the failed leadership we have in Arat Kilo. People are suffering because of the leadership of Abiy Ahmed. But Ethiopians, the Amaras, still they don't see this. That's a problem. And so that will make Ethiopians to suffer more. Sudan mediation to end Ethiopia's crisis is still valid, Hamdok said. Okay. Sudanese Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok said that his initiative to end the war in Ethiopia is still valid, still there, the interest, even though the Ethiopia rejected. The mediation initiative between the Ethiopians within the IGAD framework is still in place, Hamdok said in a press conference in Khartoum on Sunday. Hamdok had conducted a series of contacts with IGAD countries, including Eritrea, and the international community to mobilize support for his bid to stop the fighting in northern Ethiopia between the government forces and the Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF. Hamdok underscored he had spoken with the Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed about the initiative. However, the office of the Prime Minister rejected the offer, pointing to the tension with Sudan over the Al-Fashqa border area. Hamdok stressed that the purpose of his initiative as IGAD chairman is to preserve the unity and stability of Ethiopia. This is a country that has 110 million population. Can you imagine if the state collapsed? That's his question. So he said 110, but this number is different. The other one reported 115. So which one is the correct number? We don't know, but I know it's more than 110, more than 100 million. He further pointed that Sudan cannot watch what is happening inside the neighboring house without seeking to address a crisis that will also impact his country. The Sudanese Prime Minister also minimized the recall of the Sudanese ambassador to Addis Ababa, saying it was a normal measure to consult with him over the situation in Ethiopia and what should be done. The foreign ministry in Khartoum had denounced claim by Abiy's office on Al-Fashqa as an Ethiopian territory and announced the recall of its ambassador to express dissatisfaction with the statement of his office. So that's Sudanese side still want to resolve the conflict through dialogue. So far, Ethiopia rejected. But still, it makes sense for the Sudanese to act. Yes, it's already impacting Sudan through the refugee crisis, more than 50 or 60,000 in Sudan. So the intention is good, but the problem is the border issue. That is the problem Ethiopia is claiming, and the Sudan is claiming that's their land. So it should be seen through negotiation. Even that border issue, Ethiopia don't want to fight. Ethiopia is waiting to deal with the internal war first. Then after that, want to go to fight with Sudan. That's my take. They are not saying they are quiet. They cannot afford. The country is collapsed under Abiy Ahmed. They cannot protect. Kenya can take any land if she want to, or Djibouti, because Ethiopia is in a very weak position at this time. Abiy decided to fight to create all these command posts, all this war for his power, not the sake for the interest of the country or for the sake of Ethiopia, for his own dream to become a king in that country. Okay, the last part for today's reading. This is a joint statement from many countries for the situation in Afghanistan. Joint statement, how many countries? A lot. The only thing, I don't see Ethiopia is included in this. So many countries included, but I don't see Ethiopia. Let's read. The below reflect the list of signatory countries as of August 16. The following is the text of a joint statement on Afghanistan released by the following: Albania, Australia, Austria, Bahamas, Belgium, Bulgaria, Burkina Faso, Cabo Verde, Canada, Chad, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Cote d'Ivoire, Croatia, Czech Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, Djibouti, Denmark, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Equatorial Guinea, Estonia, the High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Federal State of Micronesia, Fiji, Finland, France, Gabon, Georgia, Germany, Ghana, Greece, Guatemala, Guinea, Guyana, Haiti, Honduras, Iceland, Iraq, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Japan, Jordan, Kenya, Kosovo, Kuwait, Latvia, Liberia, Libya, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malawi, Malta, Marshall Islands, Mauritania, Moldova, Montenegro, Nauru, Netherlands, New Zealand, Niger, North Macedonia, Norway, Palau, Panama, Paraguay, Philippines, Poland, Portugal, Qatar, Republic of Korea, Republic of Cyprus, Romania, Rwanda, Somalia, Senegal, Syria, Sierra Leone, Slovakia, Slovenia, Somalia, Spain, Sudan, Suriname, Sweden, Switzerland, the Gambia, Togo, Tonga, Uganda, United Kingdom, United States of America, Ukraine, Vanuatu, Yemen, and Zambia. Who is missing? Ethiopia. They didn't ask them to join, or they refuse. We don't have any proof for that one, but Ethiopia is missing. All this from small to the bigger countries, even the Iceland joined, Somalia joined, Djibouti joined. Ethiopia is globally isolated from the global issue. That's why you can understand under Abiy Ahmed leadership. How are you going to live in isolation? Ethiopians, you need to wake up. Demand the removal of this guy. You cannot live in 21st century by yourself. Okay, begin the text. Given the deteriorating security situation, we are working to secure call on all parties to respect and facilitate the safe and orderly departure of foreign nationals and Afghans who wish to leave the country. Those in position of power and authority across Afghanistan bear responsibility and accountability for the protection of human life and property, and for the immediate restoration of security and civil order. Afghans and international citizens who wish to depart must be allowed to do so. Roads, airports, and border crossing must remain open, and calm must be maintained. The Afghan people deserve to live in safety, security, and dignity. We in the international community stand ready to assist them. The end of the text. So many, I can say the whole globe joined in this statement, in this text, except our country, Ethiopia. That is shame. That must be on ignite a very serious discussion about that country, about that leadership, about the Prosperity Party. Yeah, we need to, unless we are allowing our people to continue the suffering just for 1% power. 1% is just playing with the lives of millions in that country, because he controlled the military, he controlled the federal police, he controlled the militia. I hope it will not be long. So that is the situation for Afghanistan. You might already heard Taliban's are in control now after 20 years. After 20 years fighting. And President Joe Biden explained why he decided to leave Afghanistan. He said, "We are not there to rebuild the country. We are there to hunt Al Qaeda, and our mission is accomplished." Yeah, he could, uh, work out with Taliban and for a smooth transition instead of just, you know, creating all the chaos. I have the video, and you will see, you know, how people are running for their life. Taliban's are in control now. All the gains that country, all the achievements through the last 20 years, especially for girls, for women, and for restaurants, hotels, movie theaters, artists, artworks in that country, it's very tough under Taliban, unless the Taliban's mentality is maybe changed at this time, at 21st century. It's very tough, very strict religious rule, very strict, especially on girls who go in school and women, all the freedom we are enjoying in the West is a threat in Afghanistan. So, as updates on the reading, let's see some videos and conclude today's presentation. Okay, let's see.
Good health starts with good sleep and a ring. Aura is the most accurate and personalized health technology wrapped around your finger. Delivered through 3 simple scores specific to you: readiness, sleep, and activity. Get your Aura ring today. Good day, everybody.
Okay, let's see. There we go. There we go.
And welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I'm your host, the voice of reason. I wanted to do a quick update on the ongoing civil war inside of Ethiopia. There continues to be a very significant push by the Tigrayan Defense Forces that are operating in a westerly direction from Weldia. We can now confirm there was a fairly significant engagement within the last 24, 48 hours that occurred in between Debre Zabit and Debre Tabor. So apparently in this vicinity, there was a prepared attack and ambush of a fairly significant Ethiopian army column. This column consisted of some fairly heavy mechanized units, including T-72 tanks. You can clearly see reactive armor on these T-72 tanks in this video footage. You can see other armored vehicles as well. And in this engagement, obviously, some fairly significant equipment was captured and prisoners of war taken, and obviously there were casualties as well. And we can kind of see the speed of advance in which the Tigrayan Defense Forces are quite literally, in some cases, able to, I don't want to say overrun, but get in front of
convoys that could be withdrawing or operating in these areas, and then conduct these hasty ambushes and get victories out of these operations. We are also hearing that we're seeing the Tigrayan Defense Forces are now pushing towards Oreta, and this is going to have a major impact on the course of the war, especially if we see the main road junction that is north of the town fall under the control of the Tigrayan Defense Forces. Now, this is very flat terrain. This terrain would be well suited for any possible mechanized attack by the Ethiopian army. I guess the question is how many more forces do the Ethiopian military, how much does it possess in the terms of higher quality mechanized units, mechanized battalions, companies that have the ability to operate against the TDF, and that is unknown at this point. We suspect there are a lot of resources that have been moved towards Addis Ababa and are preparing for the defense of Addis Ababa. And there's also a fairly significant contingent of Ethiopian troops, Amhara militias, and the Eritrean army that is stationed in western Tigray. We've heard reports that some of the Ethiopian military is now pulling out of western Tigray, looking to try and reinforce areas that are being approached by the Tigrayan Defense Forces in the Amhara region. And at the same time, we're hearing reports of reinforcements from Eritrea that are moving into western Tigray, specifically looking to defend the town of Homora from a possible advance by the TDF. But at this point, we don't believe there will be an advance westward as of yet. The main focus of operations appear to be by the TDF moving along the central south front. I think very quickly we could see the quick advance towards Tana Lake, and then an operation, quite possibly a dual operation, where we see forces moving towards Bahir Dar, and then we see another move towards Debark, and then if Debark were to fall, we could see forces of the TDF approaching from multiple directions towards Gondar, and that would be very detrimental to obviously the defense of that city if there is a 2 or possible 3-pronged assault in that direction. But it would also appear that Bahir Dar and the vital air base in that area would also be a likely target, and also likely be heavily defended by the Ethiopian army. While the Ethiopian military, its ability to conduct airstrikes is really limited in terms of both skill set and number of aircraft, number of operational aircraft. Obviously, it still could be used with possible helicopters, possible other sorts of air assets taking off from this facility as well. And again, it's relatively flat terrain, and if tank units are operating in this area, they could obviously go into a hull down position, and they would be of better use than in some of these hilly and mountainous terrains as before. But things seem to be quickening. Things seem to start are happening very quickly in terms of how quickly the TDF is conducting the tempo of its operations and seizing control of territories, and obviously the current and ongoing battlefield defeats that are taking place. We also are hearing the messaging in terms of the leadership of the Ethiopian state in the Amhara region. There appears to be the sound of blood in the water, and that is coming from some of the statements they're making. There appears to be anxiety. There appears to be great concern from the leadership within the Ethiopian state, and obviously, again, the Amhara region. So we will continue to monitor what is being said, what is coming out, the sort of information that is occurring, and of course, we will report it. Have a great day, everybody.
So that's a little bit update on the war. And I like this guy. He explained with the map, even though the map a little bit not clear.
There were words that Zambian opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema has waited years to hear.
I therefore declare
That's the
Hichilema Hakainde S to be president-elect of the Republic of Zambia.
Zambia, yeah.
His defeat of incumbent President Edgar Lungu came on Hakainde's sixth try for the top office, and his supporters are ecstatic. Their candidate won an outright majority, more than 50% of the vote, which means there will be no runoff. But now the daunting task of turning around the economy begins.
This country has got a lot of challenges. The challenges which the Zambian people, in their collective wisdom, have decided to lump on the shoulders of this one man. But we must be quick to say that this one man is equal to the task.
Zambia owes more than $12 billion to external companies and lenders. The high cost of living, rising unemployment, and poverty were big concerns for voters. President-elect Hakainde Hichilema is promising to turn around the economy, saying he can attract investment, tackle debt and corruption. The majority of registered voters were young people, and they turned out on election day.
And in some areas, the turnout was even as high as 90%. And this is really a cry out by the people of Zambia that they want to be noticed. They don't want to be sidelined by any government.
President Lungu said the election was not free and fair after incidents of violence against ruling Patriotic Front Party agents in 3 provinces. Hichilema supporters reject that. They want the president-elect sworn into office as soon as possible. Harumataza, Al Jazeera, Lusaka.
So this is the last video, I think, is about Afghanistan. Look how people are rushing to get on the plane after the Taliban captured Kabul.
Let's take a step back. This is manifestly not Saigon. The fact of the matter is this. We went to Afghanistan 20 years ago with one mission in mind, and that was to deal with the people who attacked us on 9/11. And that mission has been successful. We brought bin Laden to justice a decade ago. Al-Qaeda, the group that attacked us, has been vastly diminished. Its capacity to attack us again from Afghanistan has been, right now, does not exist. And we're going to make sure that we keep in place in the region the capacity, the forces necessary to see any reemergence of a terrorist threat and to be able to deal with it. So in terms of what we set out to do in Afghanistan, we've done it.
All eyes will be on Linda Thomas-Greenfield, the US representative of the Security Council, trying to explain the US's position right now and what the US is going to do after what nearly every diplomat I've spoken to says is a catastrophic foreign policy failure by Washington.
Okay, that's the last video about the updates in Afghanistan. Chaos, and the people, running to get out. It reminds me when Mengistu Haile Mariam ran away to Zimbabwe, and it's the same situation. Everybody want to get out, get on the plane, but we couldn't. Only the powerful get on it. Went to Nairobi and other places. So it's the same situation happening in Afghanistan after the Taliban came back to power. So many people, scared this group come into power just because of their history. They are very religious. They don't play around. You have to grow your beard. If you shave like this, you could be punished. Hard to own a restaurant. I don't know what they're going to do with all restaurants, bars in Afghanistan now. The hair salons, the hotels, and all these women enjoying the freedom for the last 20 years. How they're going to go back and hide inside the house, unless, as I said, unless this Taliban lead their country, modernize their mentality, and adjust a little bit to go with the global community. So that's the situation. All the international community, the United States, the British, the Canada, Australia, all of them out, shut their embassies. They didn't make a better deal. They fought for 20 years and ran away at the end. So that's the general update on Ethiopia, Oromia, Tigray, Amara region, Afghanistan, and other news. So that is the end. And please subscribe, share the video, comment on my video so we can, grow this concerned citizens media, so we can be the voice for the voiceless, especially back home. We will continue reporting to you updates on Ethiopia, update on the global issues. I will be back with other comment, news, update next time. So long, everyone, and be safe. Thank you again for coming back. Bye-bye.